Hi class, this is the video that might help you to prepare for the final. So out of the questions in the final, of the 52 questions, and I picked 10 that I consider you might have problem, or you might not, but you can just practice. You can just practice first before you take the final with this 10 questions. And it's again like before, and those are the questions that are very similar to the real questions in the final. I made some minor changes for some of the numbers, and then use it to demonstrate like how to work those kind of questions out in this video. Let's start with question number 1. Okay, so this is the first question. The question is a bond question. So the bond information given are the coupon. Coupon is 10%, so you know it's $50 coupon and 15 years to mature, and the par value of $1,000 for all bonds. All of the bonds in the market, its par value is $1,000. The current price of the bond is $1,100. What is the capital gain yield? I won't give you much of the detail, but let me just write down the equation. So capital gain yield is the price changed because of the returns. The returns earned from price changes. To get this capital gain yield in the bond pricing, it will not be given, or you can use one equation to figure that out directly. You have to get it indirectly. To get the capital gain yield, what you can do is you can use yield to maturity and subtract the current yield. Current yield is your return from coupon. Yield to maturity is like total returns. So you use total returns, subtract your returns from the coupon, and that's the returns you earned from price changes. So this is the equation. So we know yield to maturity, YTM, it should be rate function, right? So it should be the 15 years. You can use the calculator or you can use this Excel. 15 years, so coupon is 10%, so it's $100 coupon divided by 2 because it's semi-annual. And also the price should be negative, and par value, and remember you have to multiply by 2. That's yield to maturity. And then current yield should equal to coupon 100. It has to be annual coupon divided by price. And then so you see you get the difference of YTM current yield, so you can get the capital gain yield. So this is this question. And the second question. The second question is that the mortgage quoted rate is 12% annually. How much is the actual rate? So we've done some exercise in the past, which is very similar to this one. So I just want to remind you, the 12% is APR, and the question is asking for EAR is how much. You can use the calculator at jufinance.com. I think it's called EAR to get it. To get the EAR. Or use effect function. So the input in this question should be 12% and 12. So you will get the actual rate or EAR rate. This is pretty simple. And the third one, at 6%, how long would it take to triple your money? So 6% here is your return. So your rate is 6. And you want to triple your money, and the question is asking how long. So it's just asking you for how much is the ampere, and then there's nothing else given, but you can assume something, like for example, how much you invested initially, that's PV. For example, you invested $1,000 initially, and future value should be negative 3,000 because you tripled it. How long does it take for you to triple to get $3,000 back? So that's the question. So you see, PMT, this question is 0. So you can use these inputs to figure out how much is ampere. Okay, so let me just write it down. So ampere is the function. So you should use, it's not saying anything for like monthly compounding, you just assume it's annual compounding. So you use 6%. And 0 for payment, 1,000 for present value, and negative $3,000. Of course, you can use $1 as PV, and future value you use 3, negative 3. You get the same answer. Question number 4. What is the APR rate? So in this question now, if it's compounded weekly, so this is still like you should convert between EAR and APR. You can go to the website. I think it's called APR. APR. This is the website. You can convert it back to APR from EAR, or you can use the nominal function in Excel to do that. It's called nominal function in Excel. The input is just 6%. Input should be 6%. 6%. And how many times is compounded in a year? 52. So this will give you APR. So this is this question. Number 5. You agree to make 24 deposit of $1,000 at the beginning of each month into a bank account. At the end of 24th month, you will have $20,000 in your account. It's compounding monthly. What nominal annual rate will you be earning? So this doesn't seem to be a hard question, but when you use the rate function, since this is a monthly deposit, so what you got is your monthly interest rate. So you should use what you got based on rate function and multiply by 24. No, yeah, by 12. That will be your nominal annual interest rate. So in this case, if you use rate function, so it should be this is interest rate we want to find. 24 is ampere, and the $1,000 is your PMT, and then so PV is 0, and future value is negative 20,000. Right? So what you got here is the monthly interest rate. Oh yeah, and at the beginning of each month, so type has to equal to 1. So don't forget this one. And then since what you got is monthly interest rate, so you should multiply by 12. That will be the APR. This is the answer. So this is what you can do. If you use rate function in Excel, and you should get the monthly interest rate because you're depositing $1,000 into the account on a monthly basis. So your monthly interest rate multiplied by 12, that would be your nominal annual interest rate. Okay, so the next question is a little bit different to what we have done before. Okay, so you see, so you know market return in the 4-year period and stock B's return in the 4-year period is how much? So the question is asking you how much is the beta of stock B. We didn't mention it in the class, but you can use slope function in Excel, like to get the beta of the stocks. Like the syntax is slope array of, I think it's Y first, stock B's return array of stock, market return. I won't show you how to do that, but I think if you watch the video, you should see examples I did in class. But anyhow, for this one, but you see there's no deviation for stock B's return. So if market goes down, stock B's return is 3%. Market goes up, and stock B's return is also 3%. So you see stock B is risk-free. Risk here we mean there's volatility, that's risk. So there's no volatility of stock B. So it's risk-free. So beta should be 0 when the security is risk-free, so it's not changing at all with the market. So it's very insensitive to the market. So its beta has to be 0. So the market beta should be 1. That's a benchmark. The market portfolio has like every stocks in it, so it's a benchmark. So for this security, its return is not changing at all. So it's risk-free. Market go down, you still get 3% from stock B. So it's risk-free here. So beta should be 0. You don't need to do the calculation. If you use slope function to calculate it, and you will get 0 for your answer, but you don't have to. And this is the only question I'm asking you to calculate the beta using slope function, but this is the only one, so you don't need to practice how to get the beta using slope function. Question number 7. It's a typo here. So what is the slope of security SML? SML stands for security market line. So you can check, you can find the definitions for security market line and on the website, or you can find like in Investopedia or with Wikipedia. There, it will give you very detailed explanation. The slope, you should know that slope of security market line always equals to market risk premium. This is a term used that we're using. Market risk premium equals to market return minus risk-free rate. That's all. You don't, if you need to do some calculation, you can do that based on this definition. Question number 8. We didn't do any exercise using this one, but you see, you can calculate the standard deviation using stdev function in Excel to do that. Let me show you how to do that. You know, standard deviation equations is you can find the you can find, for example, this is a question. So it's asking you for how much is the standard deviation of the stock. So in year 2015, the stock earns 8% return. Then 2014, -10. 2013 is 5%. So you know what we can do, even though the question is we can get the average return. We know how to do that. So you just use average or sum up and divide it by 3 or do the average. So this is 0.83%. Now to get the risk or standard deviation as a measure for risk, so you can do the calculation. I'll show you. Or you can use stdev function in Excel and highlight the returns in the 3-year period, and this is your answer. Or to make it, this is your answer. So you can make it a percentage. Let's say it will be 0.093%, or you can say 0.0993. Either way, it's the same answer. it's the same. So, but you know the standard deviation's definition is you get the difference between each year's return from the mean 0.83%, and get the square of this difference, and you add the square of each year's return and the difference up, and then you divide it by the number of years, so you get the same answer. But anyhow, you can easily use, easily just use stdev function in Excel. You will see there's another one, it's called stdevp. The difference between the two is just like for one you're considering the sample size is small, and for another one you're considering the sample size is big. In this case, you can just use stdev, and that's all. Okay, so this is this question. This is new. We've never done anything in class like that. Okay, so question number 9. Question number 9. It's asking you for stock prices, but you see there are many informations given. So, but it seems like you might get lost. But you can think this way. To get the stock price, you need to use the dividend growth model. P0 equals to D1 over R minus G. Now you read the question, but R is missing. But you see, R is missing. D1 is given, G is given. R is missing. However, you know, you can get R based on CAPM model. So R is return, right? R should be risk-free rate plus beta multiplied by the information is given for market risk premium. So you can calculate it directly. So this is this question. So yeah, so I won't go to any details, but you just plug in the numbers. Let's say R equals, in our case, it should equal to 3% plus beta is 1.5 times 10%. So it should be 18%. Now to get the stock price P0, so it should be D1 is 1 over R minus G, 18% minus 8%. And so for, of course, in the real exam, the numbers will be different. Okay, this is this one. The last question is pretty hard, and what I suggest you to do is you can just, there are 4 options for this question you can choose from, so you can just try each one of them. For example, you just pick the first option, first choice, and then plug it in and see it works or not. If it's not, try the second one, and you will find one that will give you the answer. So let's give it a try here. I'll write down the math equations. If you can follow me, please do. Okay, so the stock price is $30 per share. Dividend 0 is 1. Dividend, let's just assume we don't know G. Let's just carry G into our equation and work out and write down the math equation for stock price. Stock price is P0 is $30, so it should equal to D0 multiply 1 plus G, right? So this is this one, but the dividend are not constant. So dividend will be growing at 20% for the next 4 years. After the 4th year, dividend will grow at the rate of G forever. Okay, so it's not So no, it's wrong. To get the P0, you should do this way because the growth rate is known, right? So P0, because your cash flows will be $1 increase by 20% for year 1, right? The rate of return is known, 10%. And then the first year cash flow is your dividend from year 1, so which is 20% more. So it should be 20% more. So your next D1 should be 1.2. Right? So your D2 should be 20% more than D1. Also, your D3 should be another increase of 20%. Now, it will grow at 20% for 4 years. And after year 4, so this is year 1, year 2, and year 3. And it will be the year 4's dividend should be 20% more. This is your year 4's dividend. And but after year 4, you'll be selling the stock for the rate of you'll be selling the stock for some price because the dividend will be growing at the rate of G forever, and you can figure out how much is it with everything given, even though we don't know G. But anyhow, so this is a dividend, but for year 4, this is year 4. So you see, it's the hardest question in the whole exam, and its growth rate is. Anyhow, let me just write down this equation. This is, and then R minus G. R is 10% minus G. So this is the stock price by the end of year 4. Now it will be over because you can sell the stock by the end of year 4. So this is your equation. Now it worked out. It equals to 30. So you see, you can plug in, you can set it up like this, and then you can try. You can use solver to work it out. But anyhow, I'm not going to make the whole calculation so complicated. Use the choices and plug in to this equation to find G. Or if I write down the math equation, because required rate of return is 10%. This is known. So so if I write it down, it will be something mathematically. It will be something like this. It's not durable. It's very durable. Okay, so. So you see, if you want to work it out mathematically, and this is the equation, and this is the equation. Now you do the calculation, you should get how much is G. It's not that complicated, but it just takes a while for you to get it. So the easy way is just use the choices given and just try one by one until like you find that one that can solve this problem and can solve this problem. And that's all. Well, that's all for the final preparation videos, and I really enjoy working with you guys. And we still have 1 week to go, and the final is on Saturday and Sunday in week 8. But if you guys, due to some personal reasons or health reasons, you want to take it early, you send me an email and I'll send the questions to you, and I'll grade it manually. And I will, but I won't give you too much of the time. You can have like several days to work on it. If I send it to you before Saturday, and I'll give you a day, 1 day, 24 hours to work on it. Okay, so but if you really need to take it early, let me know. Well, thank you for watching. Have a great day.